Well, hello and welcome, awesome students, to week number 4. So we are just plowing through the course, and of course the cool thing is at the end of this week we'll actually be at the halfway point, officially at the halfway point as we start week 5. So make sure you keep up on your submissions. And by the way, I think all students have done a great job at that so far, so keep it up, gang. This week we're going to dive into cognition, but before we do, I just want to do a little quick recap as we talked about sleep this past week. So one of the things that I noticed consistently in a lot of the submissions was that there's a large number of students that aren't getting enough sleep on a regular basis. And so I strongly encourage you to make that a priority. You are going to feel so much better if you're getting a good night's sleep, and that should be about 7 hours on average, gang. So work toward that number the best that you can. It'll certainly help you in terms of learning and your learning capacity. It's going to help in terms of your brain function, and I think overall you're going to feel a lot better. So again, push towards that goal, because quite honestly, if you're struggling now as you get deeper into your program, things are likely even get more challenging. So do what you can to create those good habits now. So nonetheless, I want to dive into the week and just talk about the expectations for the assignments so you have a clear understanding of what to expect. Once again, as we dive into the module, just talk about some of the things we're going to discover this week in terms of cognition and intelligence. I thought it was funny as I was preparing to do this video, I thought, oh, we'll talk about what cognition and what intelligence is, and then I realized it's part of your submissions this week. So I'm going to leave that information up to you. Focus on describing as opposed to defining, that word caught my attention there. So focus a little bit on describing. Give me a little bit more than 3 or 4 words on a definition. That will help out greatly. I'll talk about that a little bit more in detail here in just a moment. But chapters 7 and 8 in your psychology text, and again, I do strongly encourage you to get to that text. There's some great information in there, so make sure and do your readings this week. And also 3 videos. 2 of these specifically are going to be with the discussion and the assignment this week, and then most certainly watch the 3rd as well. You'll benefit greatly from that. And so as we dive into the assignments this week, again, make sure you do your readings and so you are prepared. But this week we are going to do a presentation. You're going to build a presentation on human intelligence. You'll talk about cognition and intelligence and the difference between cognition and intelligence, some history and so forth. And so as you come in this week, read through all of this. Many of you I know are going to be building a PowerPoint presentation for the first time. So just make sure to take time to read through all this information. There's a lot of great information in here. It's very clear. It's easy to follow and understand. And the expectations are clearly spelled out, and I'll clarify some things here. But again, I can't stress enough to just read through all this information, because assignments like this, when they are a little bit lengthy, what typically happens is students tune out someplace and then they miss something that ends up, resulting in a significant drop in their grade. Cognition, intelligence, I'm going to define those 2 terms. Talk about some of these things, and you're going to cover this in a 5 to 7 slide PowerPoint presentation. Now let me stress, we don't count the first page, that cover page. That rule also applies to paper submissions and things of that nature. And we don't count the last slide or last page references, in this case for both written submissions as well as PowerPoint submissions. And so again, those 2 slides are going to be tossed out. So whenever you have an assignment such as this, or anything you're going to do in terms of writing, it says something like write 500 to 700 words, focus on the 700 words. In this case, aim for that 7-slide presentation, because what happens sometimes when students look to do the bare bones minimum is sometimes they don't fully get to answer the question. In this case, it's going to be a little more cut and dry, but again, focus a little bit more on building some depth in all of your submissions. It'll help you greatly. Now, to go hand in hand with this week, gang, you get 2 options. I encourage you to go for option number 2, but let me talk about option number 1 first. So inside PowerPoint, and I recommend that all students use PowerPoint, there is an option in there to build in something called speakers notes. It's built right into Microsoft PowerPoint. It's very easy to access, but access that tool right at the bottom and you can put your notes right in there. And then you will have an option to print as a PDF with those notes. So again, it's a little quick video and some information down here, so everybody should have a very clear understanding of what to do this week in terms of putting together some speakers notes. Now, again, this will all be in one submission, so don't think you're gonna write something in Word and create 2 submissions or anything like that. You can write everything up in Word and then copy and paste it in a PowerPoint. That will be nice and easy for you. And again, I do recommend using PowerPoint for this submission. The other option that is certainly at your disposal, and gang, I personally think this is the easier way, as obviously I'm doing this video for you now, but do 2, 3, 4 minutes of you just actually doing the presentation. Now, because I know that this is a little more anxiety provoking for some of you, this is kind of one of those things I want to stress that only I will be seeing your presentation, so it is okay. Don't freak out and have a lot of anxiety over this. It's really not that big of a deal, but it gives you an opportunity to practice some presentation skills. It's going to take a couple of minutes of your time. There is a tool built right inside of PowerPoint where you can do a presentation and record yourself, kind of like what I'm doing right here. Zoom, of course, has that capacity as well. You could just position your phone on something and have your computer screen right next to you and do it like that if you choose. But again, have some fun with it. Make sure that you include your slides regardless. So if you do a video presentation, please include the PowerPoint presentation. Don't just rely on the video. And then, of course, if you do your speaker's notes edition on your PowerPoint, it will just be the one submission or the one file you're going to need to upload. So let's talk about the discussion post this week, because we're going to talk about memory. So this class is really fun because some of the things we'll talk about in the discussion boards are, quite honestly, some things that will really help you as we talk about how to improve your memory and things of that nature. But we're going to have some fun this week in the discussion board talking about a fun memory from your past, from your childhood. So this is one you want to take just a few minutes or maybe take a little bit of time to reflect on a happy, fun memory. And guys, share a memory that means something to you, that is significant. Give us some depth, because I think we're going to have a lot of fun reading about some of these things on the discussion board this week. So as we progress through the week, if you do have any questions or anything comes up, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm really just a phone call away, or simply just send me a message through Canvas. I'll be happy to answer your questions. But more importantly, I do look forward to interacting with you in the discussion board this week. I look forward to reading your submissions.